Today is a profoundly sad day for the people of my country, for the realms, for the Commonwealth, and indeed for the whole world. Her Majesty the Queen was the longest reigning monarch, 70 years of service to my country. And she has been a constant for many of us in what has been an incredibly fast-changing world. She is also a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, and this is also a moment for us to offer our condolences to the royal family for what will be a great loss. But they, like us here at the British High Commission, have been hugely supported through that loss, at being able to see just the outpouring of respect, of love, of grief from across the whole of the world, from leaders past and present, from people across society in all countries. And obviously, there is a particular poignance for countries of the Commonwealth, like Uganda, on a day like today. She was a remarkable leader, and I think many of us across the world have a very personal relationship with Her Majesty the Queen, one that we've often reflected on. I think even though at 96, I think this is still a shock to many of us, including us here at the British High Commission. But like I say, the messages of support and of love and of respect from across here in Uganda that we have been inundated with over the last 12 hours have been deeply moving, have been incredibly supportive of all of us here. So thank you very, very much. I'm very happy to answer some questions now. I've opened our condolence book today. It's open now until 3 o'clock this afternoon, and it will also be open between 10 and 3 o'clock every day next week. It's absolutely open to the public. As I said, we know that many people have a deeply personal connection to Her Majesty the Queen, a deep respect for monarchy in this country, and to be able to offer an opportunity for people to express that respect, that connection, we felt was very important. So we have opened up a full condolence book, and we are anticipating people from across Ugandan society to wish to sign that. We are also planning other commemorative activities during the course of the next few days and weeks, and we'll be making those also, details of those available to the public over the course of the next few hours and days. So I think this is a real moment to reflect, actually, on the Commonwealth, because when Her Majesty and it, first sort of led that Commonwealth initiative, it was a group of relatively small group of 7 individual countries. Through her leadership and through the leadership of other members of the Commonwealth, we've seen that grow to now a family, and I use that word absolutely with meaning, a family of 56 nations. Every time we have a Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, we have more nations that want to join that family. It's a phenomenally unique arrangement with the Commonwealth. It's an egalitarian family with countries, no matter how large, how small, have the same voice. It tackles issues that matter to our people, to our world, from climate change to growing the economy. It's a phenomenal legacy of Her Majesty and also other leaders in how they have shaped and changed that in response to our changing times. And I believe, like I say, it's in an incredible state now to play a leading role on the world stage as we tackle some of maybe our toughest challenges yet to come. And she was rightly proud and also fiercely loyal to the Commonwealth throughout her lifetime. And I have no doubt that the royal family, His Royal Highness King Charles III, will feel exactly the same about it, as do we all. So I think what has been phenomenal also about Her Majesty the Queen is in a period of unbelievable change. I mean, just think what our world looked like when she came to the throne in 1952, and look what our world looks like now, 70 years later. She has actually, seen us all through that period of enormous change embracing that change whilst also providing a sense of continuity for all of us. That is a remarkable feat, I think, and for a woman, for a global leader to do that, I think that's again why we're seeing this outpouring of respect and love. And I think things cannot ever stay the same, and being able to maintain that, whether it's within the Commonwealth or at home, His Royal Highness King Charles III will absolutely continue that legacy. And we are incredibly proud to serve him across not just the Commonwealth, but across the world. So I think, again, what the monarchy has always symbolised in our country is that sense of continuity. And you can see my country is rightly very proud of its history, of its traditions, of its pageantry. And I think whether we are in the planning stages now for obviously the funeral arrangements for Her Majesty, but then in future months also looking forward to the coronation, much of that symbolism is for, a continued sense of duty and service, both to the people of the United Kingdom, to the realms, and to the broader Commonwealth. So whilst there is always change, and change is inevitable in all of our worlds, also maintaining some constants are needed for all of us. And I don't see that changing. My goodness. I think she was just a remarkable leader. I mean, one of the things for me personally is I have never known a time when she wasn't around. I have served her with pride and dignity and real commitment for all of my years in the Foreign Service. She has been a consummate diplomat, leader, and just a source of strength and inspiration to all of us. As I said, I think, looking at this outpouring of respect and of love from across the world, I think everyone has a very deeply personal relationship with Her Majesty the Queen. I think what has been very interesting to see and very heartwarming is, along with that leadership and respect, there are also many, many stories of her human qualities, her sense of humour. I've heard lots of people talk about the twinkle in her eye, the way she relates to people, whether it is heads of state or it's doctors serving in Syria or it's school children. Actually, I think that balance that she had, that dignity, that leadership, that sense of service, with also a deep, profound sense of humanity, is a really inspirational mix in a human being. And I think we will all have a very personal relationship with what she means to each of us going forward. Leaders everywhere, can learn a lot from Her Majesty the Queen, and have learnt a lot from Her Majesty the Queen. I think, again, her ability to balance a very clear sense of public duty, and for her to be doing that, I mean, it was only 2 days ago where she went through her royal duties, seeing the passing of from one Prime Minister to another Prime Minister, 2 days before she passed herself. I mean, that's a phenomenal, sense of that public duty. And I think, is something that has spoken to a lot of us actually over the last few days. I think also, like I say, it's that mix with humanity actually as well, and the ability to, provide constancy through change. I think all of these are hugely important lessons we all take away and learn. But I think, now is a period of reflection for all of us on just what she has meant to us, what she's meant to the world, the Commonwealth and others. And, that 70 years, like I say, from what, when she came onto the throne in 1952 to yesterday, I mean, that's just a phenomenal period of time with so much change. And I think there's a huge amount of reflection within that. Here in Uganda, I think I may have touched on it, but her connection with Uganda was very real. Those 2 visits, her presence here at Chogum, I hope also that people can sort of be able to get a sense of a personal connection with Her Majesty the Queen from her time here in this country as well. Formally enter now 10 days of official mourning, or up until after the funeral. And we still have details of the funeral to be confirmed, and we will let you know when those come through. Whilst that sort of period of mourning, we also will, while we are, what's the word? Sort of recognising the importance of this moment and all of our duties, opening up to the public, offering those condolence books. Also, the business of government continues. So we are here also to do our duty. Her Majesty the Queen, as the most phenomenal public servant, would expect nothing less.